Moyen. This may look like a typical scene in Luxembourg, but a closer look will reveal that we are on the banks of the mighty Mississippi here in Wabasha, Minnesota.
Minnesota, the land of 10,000 lakes, l'Étoile du Nord. Since May of 2020, you've probably heard about this northern US state over and over again in the news as the focus of one of the major social events in recent US history. But what you might not know is Minnesota was also one of the primary destinations of Luxembourgish immigrants to the USA starting in the 1850s. We here at Lux Citizenship help the descendants of these immigrants to obtain dual citizenship back in Luxembourg. To date, we've helped 1,000 Americans on the path to dual citizenship. In doing so, what we've noticed time and time again is that a huge portion of the people we help either live in Minnesota or had previous generations of their family who also lived there. In fact, according to our estimates, 26% of Americans who are applying for Luxembourg dual citizenship through Ancestry live in Minnesota. On top of that, 72% of the Minnesotans applying for dual citizenship live in the Minneapolis-St. Paul metropolitan area, what's called the Twin Cities. That's equivalent to almost 20% of all the new American Luxembourgers living in the Twin Cities area alone. This would mean the Twin Cities has by far the largest concentration of Luxembourgish dual citizens in the USA. In fact, by the end of 2022, if all pre-qualified applicants are able to travel to Luxembourg on time, we would expect at least 797 US Luxembourg dual citizens over 18 years of age to be living in the Twin Cities metro area alone. In terms of eligible voters for Luxembourgish elections, that would mean the Minneapolis-St. Paul area has more eligible voters than Heffingen in Luxembourg's central electoral circumscription. Minnesota is the 12th largest US state with the 17th largest GDP. At $383 billion a year, it is equivalent to the annual GDP of the United Arab Emirates. And the Twin Cities area is home to half of the state's residents and is the 13th most important metropolitan area in the US by GDP, with an economy the same size as Chile's. Minnesota is one of the US states with the highest average income and education levels in the country, and these high standards of living have naturally led it to be one of the centers of innovation in the US. For these reasons and more, we thought there was no better time than now to release our Minnesotan Luxembourger study, a unique-in-the-world bird's-eye view on these new dual citizens, the state that they're from, and their unique stories. The opportunities for exchange between Luxembourg and this state full of dual citizens can be a one-of-a-kind success story, and one we're certain you'll be hearing about more and more into the future.